I want to share with you a horrible mistake I made. So years ago, when I first became a certified life coach, I did something I think a lot of life coaches end up doing at some point, which is I gave advice for somebody who didn't ask for it. And it was a woman on Facebook that I don't know very well, and but she was a distant family member, and she posted something that was something that happened to her that was very sad, and I felt really bad for her, and it led me to be curious about some other things in her profile. So I was scrolling through looking, and when I read it that day, I thought it had just happened to her. But it turns out it happened to her about 2 years ago. So she was still living in that same story for 2 years of something that had happened to her. And my advice to her was that she needed to stop playing that story. That yes, she was a victim at that point in time when that originally happened to her, but we have the choice whether or not we stay in the victim role. So, well, needless to say, not surprisingly, she didn't really like that piece of advice. And, after reflecting on it a while later, I was like, oh, that was not smart of me to do that. That was wrong. And, one big mistake, and I won't make that mistake again. I still stand by what I'm saying, though, because we have a choice whether we kind of tell ourselves our own story, right? We make up stories all the time about things that are going on. So if someone leaves out missing pieces, we're going to fill in the gaps with what we believe based on our own experiences in life, what we believe to be true. Now, if I fast forward to my life today, which has been probably almost 6 years ago that happened, I've entered the digital marketing space, and I hear people say all the time that, this doesn't work for me, it only works for other people. And they're talking about a myriad of things, whether it's, starting your own business, or it's gaining followers on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or wherever, making money online, being able to sell a product, even a multi-level marketing product. Like, oh, that doesn't work for me, that only works for other people. That's a story. That's a story that we've told ourselves. And the brain is so smart. The brain, if we tell ourselves the same thing long enough, the brain starts to look for evidence that our story is true. And it finds ways to reinforce the stories that we tell ourselves. So if we're telling ourselves bad things, we're just reinforcing those bad things in our life. So let me share something with you real quick. So I am getting ready to publish my very first book. Release date is November 15th. If I held on to some of my old story, which is this, that who am I to write a book? Who would want to read a book by me? I grew up very poor in a trailer park in a small town with 4,000 people. I was a shame to my family, and because I became pregnant, before my 16th birthday, actually. I became pregnant before my 16th birthday. I lived in an abusive home. I got pregnant on purpose to escape the abuse. I'm still in my pajamas. It's very cold here today in Arizona. I was a cheerleader, and I shamed my school by, being a pregnant teenager in a cheerleader uniform. Not that I wasn't showing or anything, but this is the story that I'm telling myself, right? I've been divorced twice. I'm on my third marriage. I left my corporate role 6 years ago. Who would want to read a book by me? If I continued to tell myself those kinds of stories, that would make me a victim in every single circumstance. And I'm not a victim. I actually am an overcomer if you think about it, because let's turn the story around. She grew up in an abusive home and was still able to escape, work her way up the corporate ladder. She became a corporate leader. She owned her own business. I owned an insurance agency. She found love later in life at age 42. She became a certified life coach after leaving her successful corporate career. She then went on to produce a podcast for 3 years, helping women lead more fulfilling lives. And she also took all of her love for leadership and helping people and compiled it into a book that she is now putting out to the world. That's a whole different story, the victim story versus the overcomer story. I overcame. And the people who are watching all these videos online and saying that only works for other people, you need to be careful of what your story is saying. There are, what I think, what did I just hear? I can't even remember, 3 billion active users on social media every day. We are doing a 90-day run in the program that I promote, and we are encouraging people to set their goal at $20,000 in 90 days. But in order to do that, you have to set your story on the right track. Your story can't be in the victim mode. Your story has to be in the overcomer mode. I can overcome whatever limitations I think I have to be successful at this. Because in order to hit that 20,000 in 90 days, you need 23 customers. The average person gets a sale after 20 leads into their funnel. So I just wanted to come on here and do this quick video because I remembered that early mistake that I made, and it reminded me that you can't get stuck in your story. When you hear people saying that can't be done, that's only for other people, success is for other people, put yourself in the other people column. I am the other people. I am capable. I am resourceful. I am attracting abundance. And start saying those kind of things to yourself instead of the victim statements that you could be saying to yourself. The brain is always listening. The brain is always looking for evidence that what you are telling yourself over and over and over is true. So start telling yourself some different stories. If you're not already following me, hit that follow button. If you're interested in the program that I promote that is encouraging us to set $20,000 as our goal in the program over the next 90 days, send me a message. I'd be more than happy to send you the information.